Hello and welcome to the third edition of the RMI podcast series, brought to you by the Tyre Equipment Parts Association, the Motor Industry Workshop Association, Automotive Remanufacturers Associations, all proud associations of the RMI. We're today here again with Jonnesway, and we have Johnny, the technical sales rep from Jonnesway, to talk to us about product quality, product design and manufacturing systems, and what makes Jonnesway products a quality and value for money tool. Johnny, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Well, Christy, the last time I think she touched a little bit on the how, and today I just want to touch a little bit more on the what, and that what is Jonnesway Tools. Now, Jonnesway Tools come imported from Taiwan, and they've been a distributor of tools for over 33 years. Gondolier, us obviously, we are the sole importer of Jonnesway Tools in South Africa with over 100 national distributors.
Okay, so you got a national distribution, 100 distributors. Obviously, they all have reps running around, and they're obviously proud to sell the product as well on your behalf. Talk to us about the product quality and how the product is manufactured and how the product is tested.
Let me use our wrenches as an example. Our wrenches go through a 13-step polishing process and an 11-step hardening process. That's just to give you an idea of the detail that goes into making these tools.
Okay, that's very interesting. Johnny, just let's talk a little bit about product and how it's used. And when we say how it's used, what do you do when you do a tool selection for a particular dealer?
We have three ranges in our tool range. So we've got our automotive specialized tools, our hand tools, and then our pneumatic tools. That just allows us to cater for any and all industries. Speaking about industries, we actually supply aviation, agriculture, industrial, and the automotive industries. So we're not just one singular focus.
Give us an example of the automotive industry brands that you support.
Automotive, for example, we have Kia, VW, BMW, Imperial Training Academy, Patco, McCarthy's, the entire CMH range, Soltec, and then of course Porsche as well, and Volvo. Volvo, for an example, we actually we call it a VPS system. So that's a specialized toolkit that we did for them as well. They've got different requirements as to the tools that they need for the car. So we made a specialized toolbox, which is our VPS systems, and we supply them with that.
That's interesting. And you mentioned aviation. So where in the aviation sector do you supply?
Aviation, FlySafe Air. Funny enough, I actually have a story. I went to one day, one of the technicians there, he's completely adamant on Jonnesway. So we don't normally ask this, but I was a little bit curious. So I asked him, why Jonnesway? I know why, but I just wanted to see from his point of view why. Get an end user's, technician's point of view. And he said, well, look, it's simple. They have a minimum requirement tool list. Before they work on any plane, they go through that toolbox, make sure that everything's there, no warranties, nothing's broken, and they work on the plane as per usual. Afterwards, they do exactly the same thing. And if there's even just a tiny bit, uses flat screwdriver as an example. If there's a small bit broken off, that plane cannot go anywhere. They've got to strip and stop that plane completely, make sure that they find that bit, because it can have catastrophic consequences for that airplane. Basically just told me that Jonnesway doesn't have that problem. Now, warranty is good, but in that case, a warranty doesn't mean as much. You got to fix the problem at that point, at that time, and make sure you've got a tool, quality tool, that has efficiency.
Quality tool and efficiency, I think, is really where the value for money comes into any product that one has. The longer a product lasts, the better the delivery of its service and what it's designed for. So let's just talk about tools themselves and what is done at the factory to ensure that the product is of the quality standard that it's claimed to be.
Well, we take about every second year, a couple of us from South Africa, we go down to Taiwan, bring a couple of tools with us, and they do continuous testing year by year. Now, all of the Jonnesway tools meet the international requirements and standards, many of them actually exceeding the standards set by DIN and ANSI. For instance, the minimum requirement for a 13mm wrench is 196 Newton meters per square centimeter. Failure on our Jonnesway wrench is 690 Newton meter per square centimeter. That just shows you the quality of the tool and the strength of the tool. which far exceeds the requirements set by DINA.
So in other words, what you're telling me is that the Jonnesway tool, particularly the 13mm spanner, exceeds the DIN specification by at least 3 times, which is impressive in any person's evaluation of quality. Johnny, I know that you have told us that you support a variety of training centres. What else do you do with those young apprentices, and how do you keep them really sold on your product?
We do tool and tech talks at these training centres just to give the guys a little bit more background on the tools, why Jonnesway, exactly what we're doing now. We just do with them, just explain to them why it's so important to have a quality tool in a quality environment. A professional tool in the hands of a professional. That's our end goal. That's what we want to do, and that's what we want them to see and understand.
Johnny, what is your experience in terms of tool failures? Is it mostly just abuse and misuse of product?
Look, it does happen. It's not, I don't think anybody's oblivious to that. There's a lot of misuse of certain tools. When it gets to that, and that kind of leads a little bit more into the warranties of tools. If there is any misuse of a tool, what we'll do is we will warranty that tool the first time around, educate the end user, technician, workshop manager, depending on who it is, on what the right tool is for that specific requirement.
So your tool and tech talks that you do, you would obviously be using some of those experiences that you've had around tool damage and so on to educate and do a continuous education process. That really instills a lot of value into the brand, and ongoing training, ongoing education is vital. So Johnny, just before we run out of time, I'd like to just ask you, in your experience, what makes the Jonnesway tools really stand out for you?
Well, look, to put it in short, the detail that goes into making these tools, the continuous testing that they do year after year to improve these tools, taking them to failure, working with the tools, making sure what they can do, what they can't do, and then improving on what they can't do at the end of the day. So the heat treatment, for an example, we touched a little bit on that. That's designed to maximize the wrench's strength and durability. The rust test, the strength test, basically just that. And in short, the continuous testing, the effort, and the detail.
Oh, that's great. Johnny, we'd like to thank you for making the time available to come and talk to us about the product, and we certainly hope that some of our listeners have learnt a little bit about Jonnesway product and the value for money that it actually is. And at the end of the day, value for money is not what you pay for it, it's what you get back from it. And we've spoken from time to time about lifetime warranty. Jonnesway clearly has a built-in warranty in terms of that it's not designed to break, it's designed to last. And I think anybody who spends money of this nature will appreciate that. Johnny, thank you very much. We appreciate having had you here with us for this podcast. And before we let you go, to just confirm that we do have a competition for listeners. And the competition is a simple question which we ask you, and your answers can be sent into info@gondolier.co.za. It's an email address, so jot your answer onto an email and send it through to Gondolier, info@gondolier.co.za. And the question for this week is, by how many times does the Jonnesway 13mm wrench exceed the minimum specification? Johnny, thanks for being with us. We look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks for listening, and I hope you guys could learn a little bit more about Jonnesway today.
To our listeners, thank you for participating, and we look forward to chatting to you again at our next podcast.